I would like to welcome you all to Gaetano's Vault, formerly Union Bank Building in Streeter. And before we start our meeting, I'd like to give you a little information on the building and why we're here in Streeter, instead of Bloomington where the main office is. I would like to start with the history of Streeter United Pipe and Supply. Our founder, my father, Dick Wilkinson, started Upsco right here in the little town of Streeter in 1968. At that time, Streeter was considered one of the fastest growing industrial cities outside of Chicago. I know you can't believe it, but it's true. We had 2 glass factories that employed thousands of people, and back in the day, this place was thriving. So it was back in the day of, in 1968, that was the time Dick started the wholesale plumbing supply business out on 1608 East Main Street. My grandfather, Lacey Wilkinson, owned Wilkinson Plumbing and Heating, and up until that time, my father was a partner in the business handling HVAC and boiler installations. And in 1968, Wilkinson Plumbing was the largest commercial plumbing shop in the area and did most of the mechanical work at the glass factories. Many of my father's cousins, uncles, and other family members were in the local pipe fitters union or the plumbing trade. So kind of our whole family was in the plumbing business. So in 1968, my father started United Pipe and Supply. I lived and breathed the pipe ever since I was a kid. I mean, from 7 years old on, I worked every day after school, Saturdays, Sundays. Christmas came, I had nipples and elbows instead of tinker toys. So I mean, that's what I did. That's what I learned, and that's how I was brought up. So
who wrote that joke?
That's a joke. I got nipples and elbows for Christmas. I'm telling you.
Sounds like a problem.
But like I said, everybody in our family was in the plumbing trade, plumbing business. Streeter was full of our cousins, and you know, everywhere I looked, the Wilkinson was in the plumbing business. So the supply business was the perfect fit for my father to go into, you know, because he had all his relatives that was going to buy it from him. And so that was a big deal. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the way Dick conducted his business back in the day. And these are the same principles that I use for Upsco today. And so his rule of thumb, his first rule of thumb was always pay the manufacturers quickly and be known as a company that can be counted on and be a great partner. So that's actually my number one rule. My number one rule is to partner up with the vendors, make sure they know they're very important to us, and make sure that they understand that we will be their best partners. Without them, we are nothing. We need people like Jim Dorrance to push our stuff along and to make sure we get the product when we need it. We need people like Rick Fair that's going to get us our Delta products to help us out when we need it. We want to be that first go-to place for them. We want them to think of United Pipe and Supply. We want them to say, man, that's a great place to work with. We know we're going to get paid quick. You know, we want to get them that material as quick as possible. We want to give them the best price that we can give them so they can compete in the market, they can make a profit. You know, my buddies here from CMI, Cummins Manufacturing, you know, they help us out in sales, they help us out on different things, they're partners. We're not just customers to them, and we're friends. And so that's the way I want you all to think about your company. You know, that's our number one rule, and that's something I'm very proud of that my father instilled into me and that we do every day. You know, we also want to give our customers the best service possible at the lowest possible price. So, you know, we're constantly looking for ways to buy in volume and buy at the right prices and be able to turn it back to our customers at the right prices and help them succeed. So I'm always looking for ways to help our customers, you know, basically make a profit. I worry about our customers. I want them to make money along with United Pipe. It's not just us. I don't want to be the type of a company that just worries about us, because without them, there's nothing here. So our customers are next, and we've got to think about that. We've got to think about our customers in that manner. So that's very important. And it follows suit. You treat your customers the way you want to be treated. You know, and I know all of you just try to do your best with our customers. I know Ben Kohler, who's standing over there, is hard to deal with, and I get it. But you got to work with him. If he throws something at your head, you duck. And you run, but you still take care of him. You get him his product when he needs it, and you do the best. You be there 10 minutes early. And I know that's something we're all working at. We're all lacking, trying to get more manpower and trying to get more people working with us. But the people that I have working for United Pipe today, I know everybody gives 100% effort, and that's all for the customers. But then, we've got to think about you, the employees. And you employees are not just employees. You know, you guys are an extension of our family, our United family. And that's important to me. It's important to me that you guys feel like we're part of a family, and that's why we're here today. We're here today for a great, unique opportunity that we started 2 years ago for you employees. And like I said, you're my Upsco family, and you're all that make it work. You guys, without you guys, I'm nothing. And United's nothing. You guys mean everything. And so it was very important to me that this meeting happened in this building, because this building has a lot of sentimental, features to it for me. Because this is a bank building that my father and my grandfather Lacey used to bank at back in the day. I mean, lots of years ago. This bank's been vacant for a lot of years, but back in the day, this was a thriving community. This was a thriving bank. My whole family used to come here and use it, and before my time, by the way. I know you all think I'm old, but this is before my time. So, but it's got a lot of value to me. The city of Streeter's got a lot of value to me for my family, and some of the reasons that we're here in Streeter instead of Bloomington. Bloomington's our corporate office. But we're here because this is where we started out. Streeter is where we have a small little store on 1608 East Main Street, and that's where my father started the company. But, I wanted to come back to our roots to have this meeting, and I wanted everybody to understand where we started at. And I wanted everybody to understand, there was a lot of hard work in starting this. My father put a lot of effort and time into building a company from nothing. I was a great benefit, I benefited greatly from the roots that he started and everything that he put into this company as far as the integrity he instilled in me to run a company that was, of sound minds, of sound being, and of basically, if people know when they deal with United Pipe, they know that we're going to do it the right way for them, and the vendors know it. There's never no risk to the vendors. They know it's always our top priority to take care of them, and I want our employees to understand that you're our family, and we're going to take care of you. And that's what you're here for. You're here for this mammoth announcement with this Esop, our employee stock program that we started. And we started this, in 1999 at the end of the year. So right at the end of the year, we started this program for you employees. And, it's something that I didn't know much about when I first researching it. When I first started researching it, I didn't know much about it. But what I was looking for was, over the years, I've had companies come to me and offer, we're a pain in their ass. United Pipe is a pain in our competition's ass, and they would just as soon wipe us off the face of the earth. The Fergusons out there, and some of the other guys. I mean, we're dealing with some of the best companies, plumbing companies in the world. Ben could attest to that because we deal with his company. But we're dealing with some of the biggest and the best, and us being an independent, we have advantages over our competitors because we're not as much of a corporate structure. We're able to maneuver and do things differently than what our competition does. So these are great benefits as being an independent that's a growing independent company. So I've had offers over the year for companies to buy the company. And, I'm 55 now. And it's not my dream to just sell the company and let it go. I've got a lot of family in the business. I've got my Upsco family to worry about. I want to make sure you all have jobs for the future. I want to make sure you have a good future together. I want to make sure that when you retire, you have something. And so that means everything to me. It's not just about me. It's about all of us. And so that's how I got brought to the ESOP. And that's how I got brought to coming up with a vision and a plan of doing something different than just selling the company. It wasn't just about money. And it was about, I'm not ready to get out. I've got a lot of fire left in me, and I've got a lot of wanting to, go, and I've got a lot of expansions that I want to do. So I'm not ready to go, and I want to do things the right way, and I want to help all of us be successful. And so that's a little bit of insight to my thought process on why we're here tonight, and why we're doing this employee program, which is going to greatly benefit each and every one of you that work for United Pipe and Supply. I think about it, and I think of all the time and effort that was put into to starting the Esop, and it wasn't easy. Matter of fact, it was emotional for me to do something of that magnitude. You know, I think about my family, my father. I think about my kids. I think about my son-in-law. I think about everybody involved in this. You know, and I think about all the just all the characteristics of a family business and where you're going to head in the future with a family business. But then I keep coming back to you're all my family, and every single one of you is going to reap a reward from this Esop that we're going to introduce tonight. And so, like I say, it's really an exciting time for me. It's an exciting time for me to come up and talk to all of you and just tell you how much I appreciate all of you and tell you how much, like I said, none of this would be possible without you. I mean, absolutely none of it. And I feel like I have some of the greatest people in the industry working for me. I love each and every one of you. And, I wouldn't change anything that we've done. I think we're heading in a direction that's an unbelievable growth. We're heading on a trajectory that is just unbelievable. I couldn't fathom growing as fast as we're growing. I know you all work extremely hard for me. You all put in a lot of overtime for me. You know, there's not one of you that when I ask for something to be done, that you wouldn't try to do it. And so, that all those things reinforce the reasons on why I did what I did with starting this Esop, and why I'm giving this gift back to you guys, and trying to make you guys have something for your future. You know, it's important to me that you all have something for your future. And I'd like to talk just a second about this bank building too. And I purchased this building a month before COVID, and I bought it. I thought it was a cool building. You know, it had a bunch of offices in it. It had a neat elevator. It had it's across the street from the bank I do my banking at, for United Pipe Supply. I did my banking there. That was before you guys, wherever you're sitting. I don't feel like I'm cheating on you or anything. But, guy's my banker, if you don't know that. But, so I've lived in Streeter almost all my life. So Streeter has connection to me, and so this bank building was vacant for probably 6-7 years, and it's a cornerstone of the community. It's the main route on Main Street, Route 23, which is, if you're going to go anywhere, you got to pass this corner. So I bought the building not knowing what I was going to do with it, but I just knew that I wanted to help clean up the corner for the town, and that was really my vision. And my wife Stephanie and I talked for a long time about what we're going to do with the building, and we looked at best use, and best use was going to be we needed a good restaurant in town. And so I'm not a restaurant guy, but I tell you this story because it doesn't matter what you do, what you think in life, or what you want to do, or it doesn't matter. I'm not a restaurant guy, but I promise you that this will have one of the finest restaurants in it before this is done. When this is over, you will come here and you'll have a 5-star meal. And why I'm telling you this story is because I firmly believe that each and every one of you have it inside you to visualize and plan and whatever your dreams are. I never wanted to own a restaurant. It's got nothing to do with me, but it's got to do with the community and what the community's need was, and just something that I wanted to do to help the community. And we have no fine dining restaurants in town, and might have got a little out of control, but it's still going. But when it's done, that's going to be the objective. The objective is going to fulfill the dream of bringing something great to Streeter, and that's my goal with this. And you guys being the first, the first people for me to bring in here, that means a lot to me. Sharing it with my United family means a lot to me, and. I couldn't ask for better people to come in and enjoy this moment with me than you guys. So, like I said, I want to thank you so much for that. So this building was built in 1913, and this mural up here on the wall, you might have heard me talking to Lou or whoever on this mural, but this is a hand-painted mural kind of history, and what you're seeing up there. In 1932, this was the building here in the corner. This is what the original bank building looked like. And so this is a street scene from 1932 where affiliates of the Dillinger gang took the bank president hostage at his home. And so he came to his house. It was partially an inside job. They took him hostage and they held him at gunpoint all night. These unique bank vault doors have a timer. And whoever from the inside, it's all in the newspaper, so it tells you, I don't remember the names, but you know, there was partially inside. They knew at a certain time the bank vault door was going to automatically unlock. So they brought him down 15 minutes early and they had him unlock that front door. That vault door cracked open and they came and stole $50,000. And this is the scene. There was the old Montgomery Ward's building right there. Which was over here. It was actually called the Heenan building. That was later Montgomery Ward's. It's over there where Walgreens is sitting. So it's kind of an exact replica of what happened in 1932 at this robbery. So other than the Gaetano's truck in the middle for advertising, that's what it looked like. And the name Gaetano, that's my grandfather's name from my mom's dad. So he was from Sicily. He's an Italian guy. And, you know, everything that I try to think of or do has family in my mind. And I think of my family, I think of my united family, I think of my roots, and I think of, you know, how we can benefit everyone by the way I do things. And like I said, Gaetano is my grandfather's name. It's a good, strong Italian name, and so that's how the name originated. You know, and so that's a little history on the building. We're doing an outside courtyard out there that's going to seat about 125 people. That's a little snapshot of what it's going to look like when it's done on the one side. You know, for the that's on the brick side of the building as you're driving down Main Street. So that gives you a little bit of information about where you're sitting and why you're sitting here. You're sitting here because United Pipe Supply was founded in 1968 down the road a couple miles. And, you know, it's a small town that was a thriving community that when my father looked at the community, he decided, this is the place I want to start. You know, we're going to grow a big, good business. And, you know, it's grown into you guys. You guys are the Illinois group, with the exception of Michelle. Michelle's from Tampa. She's our CFO from Tampa. And she's, you know, we did a merger earlier in the year with PBF Industrial. I'm excited to announce that. I know most of you know that. So we have 2 locations in Florida now. We have PBF Industrial out of Tampa, which is where Michelle's at. Israel, unfortunately, came down with COVID yesterday, and so he did not make it. But we'll all say a prayer for him, please. He actually went to the hospital. He was very sick. So I'd like you all to say a prayer for Israel. And, you know, we have a location in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's exciting to me. So when we talk about, you know, growth objectives and where United Pipe is headed, Florida comes to my mind as one of the top growth areas that we want to grow, and we're going to focus on this next year. Right now, we're just focusing on the merger part, bringing the computer systems up to date, getting everything you know, working in the right manner. And as soon as we get that part done, we're going to have 2 great locations with great people running the locations with Israel and Michelle that they're going to do a bang-up job, and we're so lucky to have them as part of our team. You know, I bought, you know, we did our merger with, when I look at it, and the reason that I decided to do it, instead of just opening up locations, I couldn't have gotten better quality people than Michelle and Israel and their team. So that was such a great addition. I wish I could have flown them all in here. You could all met them. You know, there's about, how many employees? We got 15, 16?
22.
Oh, we had 20. Oh, geez, we got to cut the payroll. So we have 22 employees in Florida. And of course, y'all know we have the location outside of Atlanta, Georgia. So we are definitely growing in those regions. You know, like I said, this meeting is for all of you. And, you know, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate that y'all took your time to come out here. Of course, I paid you, but, you know. But, you know, it's nice to see you before the holidays, take a few minutes out of our busy schedule and be able to spend some quality time together and just know where we're heading and our direction, you know. And I'll touch more on this later in the meeting, but our direction, I got to tell you, we have such a workload. We have such great customers. We've got the industry at our fingertips that if we just do the things we need to do and we keep positive attitudes and positive minds, and do the right things with the fact of making sure if a customer tells you they need it at this time, let's get it there 10 minutes early. Let's do the things that we need to do to build the camaraderie with our customers that we can continue to grow. I want to be known as the company that services the hell out of our customers. I want to also have the best price for them, but number one, I want to do the things they need us to do. And that comes from you guys all. That comes from you all. You all have to want the same things I want and understand that I will approve anything we need to approve within reason. But I'll approve anything we need to do to make sure that we do our jobs properly. And, my office door is always open. Any of you ever have a problem with something I've done or somebody else, or you want to just come in and talk to me, you come talk to me anytime. You call me on the phone day or night. I'll answer my phone at any time. You call me day or night, I will answer my call. I will be there for you. I will answer your questions. I will do whatever we need to do to continue to build this family and the trust of our family. And we are definitely in the middle of the greatest growth spurt I ever could have even imagined. And I don't know what our numbers are going to end up this year, but we are going to be way up this year. And I mean, we are going to be way up. I know our CPA will talk about it. And, our company's growing at a wild rate. I purchased a 190,000 square foot warehouse in Bloomington, Illinois. United Pipe and Supply, I want it to be the greatest place. I want you to talk to your friends, any quality people that you have. I want you to bring them to us. In the plumbing industry, there's very few ESOPs. There's very few employee-owned companies. And, you could go to Rivian Motors, you could go to some other place that people think, hey, this is a factory environment, it's decent pay. But nobody like that has what we have and what we offer, which is a family atmosphere, which is an atmosphere where you mean something. You're not just a number. And it's also a place to where we built this ESOP for you to where when you turn 65, you are going to have something for the future. It's something that is developed just for you that you're not putting any money into, and you are going to have, money for your future to go fishing, to go hunting, to go places, to travel, to do whatever, to build your retirement home. And doing the magnitude and the scale of business that we do, and I know for us to continue to grow, we need God. And we need, he's going to be the reason that we continue to grow and we open up more locations. And basically, he's been a pleasure to work with. I love Guy. He's a great friend, and I can't thank him enough for all he does. So Mike Staten's our CPA. He's from Indianapolis area. Mike knows the ins and outs of the company. He's another guy that keeps us in line.
Everybody participates equally based off of percentage of ownership. And that's important to make sure that Rick's not, benefiting just the family or just this person or that person. It's one of the shares where everybody, by DOL regulations, has to have the same benefit that everybody else does. So it's transfers of equity benefits and a privately held business to those employees. Who protects the employees in an ESOP? Well, I would tell you it takes a village to run an ESOP. It really does. That your main person that protects you is Mike Methodikis, that slender young man that was up here earlier before I was. His job is solely to protect you. So technically, he owns the shares that Rick sold to the company, and that he is the owner of that business. I never dreamed that you guys have the kind of year you're having right now. But it's there, and I will be the next one to congratulate every one of you for that type of year. It's been phenomenal. I've been doing public accounting for 37 years. I've never seen a company grow as well you guys did this year. So very, very excited for all of you. The Department of Labor. Rick mentioned that this is highly regulated. This is very, very highly regulated. The Department of Labor sticks their nose in everything that the ESOP does. So if you're ever worried about where the government's at, they're here. So the Department of Labor is watching this closely because it's an employee benefit plan. Just like your 401k would be, or the ESOP, any of those type of things, they're very highly regulated, and they're making sure that you as an employee are protected. Because the Department of Labor is all about the employee, not about the employer. So it's very, very critical that they're going to see. Rick has run this company for a long time. He's made a lot of great decisions. But think about it from the perspective of what just happened. He sold part of his shares to you. It doesn't make sense that he gets to negotiate both sides of that. So Mike is a trustee negotiated on your behalf to make sure that those shares are then properly from the right perspective. So you have an external trustee, which means you're protected by a separate file. So you start multiplying that, and this thing compounds very, very, very quickly. And I'm telling you, I've seen this for a number of years. I've been doing this for a while, and it's really kind of fun to watch that little curves you got there. The first few curves, 2021 to 2025, remember I didn't make these slides, but I'm telling you what's happening here is that those first 5 years, your value is just increasing. But what's also happening is the debt that we paid Rick for those shares is going down. And so you can see in 2025, 26, what happens there, Rick sells the rest of the shares. Because you have the potential here to probably make more money than you ever thought you would make in your life. And I'm not talking about for what you do on a daily basis. I'm talking about for what Rick gave you. That's what I'm talking about here, is how much value you could have. I mean, you guys got a chance to make.
I consider myself now an ESOP evangelist because I've seen how transformational ESOPs have been for so many employees and so many companies. And so it really starts with Rick. And what Rick said, I know is 100% from his heart. I know that he considers you guys family. He's told us that for years, but we see it here, acted out. I mean, it really is real. And Rick could have sold this company for a lot more money than he's selling it to the ESOP for. And you guys are the ones that benefit from that. So I just right now want us all to give Rick a round of applause for what he did.
So that was exciting for me to sit down and show each and every person the earnings that they have for the future, and knowing that they're going to have, you guys are all going to have something and it's going to be major. I mean,
Like the Cliff Bar people talked about. We hope, and what we see with other ESOPs, is that as employees grasp that they are an owner and they understand that they can help drive the value of the business up, they benefit from that. How do you help drive the value of the business up? Well, take really, really, really good care of your customer. That's where it starts. Always go the extra mile. Make sure the customer is happy. And you know what? There are times where you're going to make a mistake. And when you do, own up to it. Tell the client. I had a situation today. Mike was sitting in the car with me as we were dealing with a client, and I had to fess up to a mistake we made in the valuation process. And so we all make mistakes. Do your job right the first time. Take this younger employee under your wings. Help them learn the system. Help them learn how to do their job better. Mentor them. Look out for them. Everybody is in this together. And if all of you can just be 1% better next year, 1% more efficient next year, 1% better at your job next year than you were this year, and you do that then the next year, and the next year, and the next year, that's what the growth looks like. It's off the charts. And so just always try to be better at what you do. For your information, the company, United Pipe, is funding 100% of this benefit. And United Pipe, at that point, will pay no taxes. You guys aren't going to pay any taxes when you get the stock. And when the stock goes from $10 to $20 to $50 to $100, guess what? You're not going to pay any taxes. And when the company doesn't pay any taxes, what do you think that does to the value of the company? It grows even faster because it's not paying any taxes. And then ultimately when you retire then, you can take your ESOP balance and roll it over into an IRA, still no taxes, and you're only going to pay taxes when you start to take it out of the ESOP. So for those of you in your 20s, your 30s, there's only one issue they all agree on, and that is that ESOPs are a great tool. And the reason everybody agrees is, how did Jeff Bezos make his money? Elon Musk, Bill Gates, how did all these people make their money? They started a company, and their companies grew and grew and grew. They ultimately went public, and now all those folks I mentioned are multi-billionaires, but it all came.
Future together for your family, and a future for uniting and our growth of the whole community and the whole company. So here's to you guys. We're all here for you guys, so thank you so much.